Oh, hey, come on in.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
What's up, man?
It's good to see you.
You my Uber?
I am.
It's a daddy Uber.
It's a daddy Uber?
You know that, yeah.
It's good to see you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Good to be here.
Go ahead and get your seatbelt on, and we'll get to going.
Let's do it, man.
Cool.
All right. I've heard this before. Good taste in music.
Good taste in music. I couldn't do it and not do it.
You could have.
I could have.
You could have done it and not.
Well,
what's done is done.
What's the fun in that?
Why not?
Well, thanks for joining us, Pastor Montel. Hey, and everyone else that's joining us. This is the video that we make from time to time. This goes out to all of the department heads here at Hamilton Mills.
Sweet.
And it's just little leadership injections, something that they can grab a hold of pretty quickly. And thanks for speaking to the leaders today.
Sure.
Something I always tell everybody is that these are 100% unscripted.
Correct.
You don't know what I'm going to say, and I don't know what you're going to say.
No.
So we're just going to let Jesus talk and just kind of see what happens.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So listen, I wanted to talk to you about leading through the unknown. Ever since I've known you, it really seems like Jesus has been trusting you with the unknown. From volunteering to leading to small groups to being an author to marriage ministry to a staff lead worship pastor here at the church, to leading the church. It really seems like God feels like he can trust you with not just the unknown, but leading through the unknown. And I feel like that's something that's so important to our leadership team that I wanted to see if you could just speak to us about what that journey has been like and what we can learn from that.
Sure. Leading through the unknown. Well, I mean, there's a lot of thoughts, I guess, that initially come to mind.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways, we're probably, if you are a leader, you're called to go out into deeper territory or deeper water than most people who kind of play it safe.
Yeah.
And so I found myself career-wise, just life-wise, in positions where in order to make it to another level or to do something greater, I couldn't play it safe. You know, regarding just prior to ministry, go back to the music business days. You know, I had a decent paying job, I had a college degree, and that was the safe place to be.
Yeah.
You know, and when I said, well, I want to sell my car and I want to, you know, try and do, you know, get a record deal, the people around me, my mom and folks, they were saying, no, you got a good job, you got a degree, you got this, you got that, you know, be safe, provide for your family, you know, do those things. And there was just something in me that said, if I am safe, I may not be as significant as I could be by venturing out into the unknown. And as I'm sitting here talking right now, I guess, you know, I'm seeing this vision of these great fishermen who were excellent at what they did in Scripture, and these were guys that were at the top of their game, and they had their own boats that, like, they knew what they were doing, and there was still this moment where they weren't catching anything. You know, they were doing a service, they were doing what they were, you know, what they were supposed to be doing at that time, but they hadn't reached a significant, you know, point yet. And then Jesus, a guy who was not necessarily a fisherman, comes out telling these fishermen, hey, cast your nets, you know what I'm saying, on the other side, you know? And basically these guys are like, well, I mean, really? Like, you don't have a boat. Like, you're not a fisherman. This is what we do all day. But we'll give it a shot. And they do it and basically almost drown themselves because of the load that they're bringing in. And so they become more significant fishermen if they understand the waters that they're fishing in. So from that standpoint, I guess from that point in my career to now being in ministry, I found myself constantly being challenged in, is it cool just to stay safe? Like, I'm good at worship. Is it okay just to stay in worship and be safe there? I may not be great at men's ministry, but I feel like the Lord has asked me, cast your net out into the other side and see what men you can influence and pull into deeper relationship with God. When it comes to marriage ministry, me and my wife, we've been working and striving to have a good marriage. Casting our net onto the other side of that boat requires us to get into an uncomfortable place, really of trying to pour into couples that are damaged and pour into places that even territory that we haven't been in. And so I guess if no one is willing to go into that unknown space, there's a place of significance that just lies untapped when we as leaders aren't willing to come out of our comfort zone and to maybe dive into a place that we're not so familiar with.
That's good. That's good. The last thing you just said is still repeating in my head. If no one's willing to go into that untapped place, that empty place, if no one's willing to go there, why does it seem easy for some and difficult for others to cross over into the unknown?
I think fear plays a big role of it, a big part in it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the only thought that comes to my mind is like I don't swim. Like I'm not a good swimmer at all.
Okay.
But I'm willing to dive in. One, because I'm tall, and if I feel like I can touch the bottom, there's a chance for survival. No, but there's always a part of me that says I'm fearful about drowning. I'm fearful about not being able to swim.
Yeah.
But there's also a part about me that says, but if something ever happened to one of my children, I got to be able to get in and save my child. So even though Montel can't swim, you better believe if my daughter were in a position, if Samantha were in a position she needed Dad's diving in. I'm not thinking twice. I'm going, and I'm going to get her. And so I think it's just a scenario of where people are fearful, and you either are standing on the sidelines going, oh, help, somebody do something, waiting for someone else to help, or you're willing to dive in, get your hands dirty, get a little water in your lungs, but get the job done, and I think that for some, that fear is maybe not a full reliance that God is going to sustain you in the area that you step into. Avery, I know people who are they have an amazing story, amazing testimony, but they're functioning in one area and what they're gifted to do, but not necessarily what they're called to do. Yeah. And so you may join ministry working in one area, but God may be calling you into a completely different area. I mean, your story, from working in IT, doing all types of different things in ministry, to leaving a ministry. I don't know if you say leaving or getting fired. I don't know what that looks like. Either way, how that goes. But now to be pastoring at the level that you are, it just shows God can use you in whatever area that you're willing to step into to be significant, even in the places of unknown territory and unknown waters.
So what do you say to someone? Thank you for that, because it's that's that difference in, I want to be that kind of person, but something's holding me back. And if that something is just plain old fear, then I want to overcome it. I want to call it out. What, without giving the bubblegum super boiled down answer, then what is that antidote to fear, so that I can trust God that He actually is going to sustain me in what He's calling me to do? What's the thing that pushes you off the cliff?
The thing that pushes you off, I think I just saw this today. I don't know where it was quoted from, but it was super good and maybe just timely for today. And it basically said that fear has caused more. How did it go? I think it said fear has caused more disappointments than failure actually has. Wow. And there's a different way of saying that. Yeah. So I'll take that right there, and I'll say I said that.
Yeah, that was yours.
Fear has caused more disappointments than failure actually has. It's very seldom that people get into something, they do it, and they fail at it, and then there's a disappointment that comes from that. More often, people are fearful about something, and they just never attempt it, and then, it just never happens, or there's this place or this void that exists there. I think what pushes you to the ledge, or what allows you to take that leap of faith, I hate to say it, but a lot of times I believe God allows things to, I don't want to call it tragedy because it's not tragedy, but I believe God allows circumstances to get to a place of need in order for that to be filled. In other words, if we need to fill a space on a platform, maybe someone has to take a step back, and there's a need to fulfill a space, and more leaders need to be grown and groomed up at a faster pace to fill a space. Maybe something happens in children's ministry and a leader transitions out and there's no one to lead there.
Yeah.
Okay, who's going to lead the kids? Because kids are showing up on Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
Who's going to do it? And it may not be what your skill set is, but maybe in that time you step into a role and end up filling a space and are really good at it, and then realize, hey, I am really good at this, even though it wasn't what I thought I would do for this season. Maybe it's what God is purposing, me to do. And so, I think a lot of times need that, the kingdom says, I have need of thee. I have need of you to do this, to take part in this, and us answering that. And I think one is, or I should say, to conclude that thought, that if we don't step into that need and fulfill that need, God, I believe, will find somebody else to do it. And do you really want to be the guy or the girl that got passed over? Because not because someone passed you over, but you got passed over for the gig because you were fearful or didn't think you had the qualification to do it. When God doesn't, call the qualified people, but He qualifies everybody that He calls.
That's good. You don't want to be the one that missed out because you were afraid when He was ready to give it to you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate you speaking with us.
Thank you.
Today.
I appreciate you, man.
Hopefully something that you've said, something the Holy Spirit has said, helps you guys and it helps you to lead like Jesus. Absolutely. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.